I'm joined by our legal expert, Erin Parnas, for this segment. So, Erin, as I refer to her, our favorite lawyer, Alina Habba, may be getting replaced on Trump's legal team. We heard that she was probably on the outs, but now we're getting a more formal confirmation of that amid yet another failure on her part. Break it down for us.
Yeah, it's funny, Luke. So now we know, or we learned that Will Scharf, who is actually a candidate to become the next attorney general in Missouri and is a very much a MAGA candidate, has joined Trump's appellate team in New York and made his formal appearance asking to waive into the Southern District of New York, which is where the E. Jean Carroll case is being held. This is happening right after Alina Habba just lost a major motion to essentially stay the enforcement of the $83.3 million judgment that was issued by jurors in that case. She filed an emergency motion to stay that judgment pending post-trial motions, and that emergency request from Habba was quickly denied by Judge Kaplan. And we learned yesterday around the same time that she will likely be getting layered as the case gets on appeal, because now Scharf is joining the team as an appellate attorney. And we know Alina Habba does not have a good track record for Trump in front of the Second Circuit. So this is not much of a surprise. But Habba looks like she is getting layered and layered and layered on Trump's legal team.
So give us more information on the emergency motion. What happens on that front?
Yeah, so about a month ago, as you know, the jury returned a verdict for $83.3 million against Trump in the Carroll case. And in federal court, you typically have 30 days to file a notice of appeal. You also have 30 days to move for a new trial or file post-trial motions. Alina Habba waited 25 days to notify the court that they would try to seek a stay of the judgment. Because remember, in New York, you would have to post the $83 million judgment to be able to appeal it. Alina Habba waited 25 days right before the deadline to ask the court to essentially say, hey, disregard the $83 million. We shouldn't have to post that pending appeal, pending the post-trial motions. And Judge Kaplan essentially said, why would you wait so long knowing that you have this 30-day clock running? And that was the big reason why he denied Habba's emergency motion to essentially put the judgment on pause for a little bit.
So then, Erin, Trump's facing, obviously, what we're talking about here, the $83 million judgment because of the E. Jean Carroll verdict. Then you have the fraud, hundreds of millions. It was $350 million originally, but that's going up and up every day with interest. For both of those, where do things stand? How many more delay tactics are there? And when is he just going to have to pay for sure?
Yeah, so we could take those separately. For the $83 million judgment in the Carroll case, he has to post a bond within the next few days if he wants to appeal, and he's gonna have to pay that $83 million. So that judgment is really coming to a head. He doesn't really have many delay tactics there left. We're gonna know in the next week or so whether he's able to come up with the $83 million. That's that one case. The second case, the $400 million judgment now after interest, that's in a bit of a kind of holding pattern. Trump is appealing it, and he will also have to post a judgment there, but he has a little bit more time there. He has a few more weeks. So we'll also know in the next few weeks whether or not he's going to post the judgment there or post the bond there. So in a lot of ways, we're in a holding pattern across the board, but even setting all that aside, Trump has a bigger deadline coming up, or rather bigger legal issue coming up, and that's the start of his criminal trial, which is now in just 2 weeks. So that's the big thing for him right now, is the criminal trial in New York on the 25th.
And then going back to, obviously, the news here is that Will Scharf is joining Trump's legal team, which I assume would help him electorally with MAGA. Yikes. How do you sort of assess the role he'll play in the legal team in terms of, will he be helpful to Trump or harmful like Alina Habba has been?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I think anyone is better than Alina Habba for Trump right now in New York. So I think he will be helpful at the end of the day. I find it very interesting. Scharf is actually, I said earlier, running for office. He's running for Attorney General of Missouri while also helping Trump out on appeal. Scharf is a lifelong attorney. He is reputable in Missouri and does know the appellate process well. So I'm sure he will be a value add to the team and he will help Trump. But at the end of the day, folks have to remember that on appeal, The only issues that are really at issue are specific legal issues, specific rulings that a court issued. The factual issues of a case are not on appeal. No appeal is going to relitigate whether or not Donald Trump defamed E. Jean Carroll or whether or not Donald Trump committed civil fraud. It's going to be very limited to specific legal questions that simply weren't really raised because of Habba's failures throughout the trial. So that Trump, regardless of who he adds, he could add the best appellate attorney in the country, but you could only do so much with the record you have. And Habba didn't give him a good one.
Absolutely. Aaron, where can people find you?
On all my social platforms, just at Aaron Parnas.